Former Marines saw troops loading weapons on UFO, alleged assault by special troops and signed NDA. In a stunning development that has reignited discussions about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, a former Marine Corps veteran, has broken a 14-year silence to reveal a remarkable encounter. During their deployment in the Middle East, the veteran's 6-man unit reportedly witnessed a UFO firsthand. This extraordinary testimony brings a new level of credibility to the ongoing debate, shedding light on the experiences of military personnel and raising profound questions about the nature of these unidentified objects. The Marine veteran's decision to come forward underscores the need for a deeper exploration of unexplained phenomena and paves the way for a broader understanding of the mysteries that lie beyond our skies. In an exclusive interview in 2023 with DailyMail.com, Michael Herrera, an ex-Marine, shared a profound revelation. Recalling the events of 2009, he recounted the time when he and his fellow comrades embarked on a Navy humanitarian mission to aid the Indonesian region devastated by the Sumatra earthquake and tsunami. Michael Herrera, UFO encounter and assault by special troops. On October 8th, they were deployed via a CH-53 chopper, carefully landing in a clearing situated in the northeast of the city. With their destination reached, they embarked on a courageous trek, climbing 900 feet up a ridge to secure their positions in anticipation of the impending supply drop. However, amidst the dense vegetation beyond the hill, something caught Michael Herrera's attention, a sight that deviated from the ordinary and sparked his curiosity. I could see something moving and rotating. It was changing colors between a very light matte gray to a very dark matte black. It stuck out like a sore thumb. The thing was massive, the size of a football field. The craft was rotating in a clockwise motion while changing colors. It had an audible hum to it, like the sound of a transformer or a guitar amp. It was an octagonal shape with a pyramid at the top of it that was black. It had scales that were on the outside of the craft that covered the whole craft. It had seams and sharp edges, which I suspect to be man-made. Nothing on it was smooth. It had some panels on the vertical edges that were like Vantablack, said Michael Herrera. Strangely, Michael Herrera and his colleagues were not issued radios, so they crept down the hill in formation to investigate as Herrera took pictures and video with his Panasonic camera. Herrera claimed that when he and his 5 other teammates got within 150 feet of the craft, 8 men in all-black camouflage, bulletproof vests, and holding M4 rifles with top-of-the-line night vision attachments given to elite U.S. troops attacked them. They had their weapons drawn on us, he said. We could audibly hear their weapons' safety levers flipping off safe. "Who the are you guys? What are you doing here?" 2 of them yelled with American accents, he said. "They said we weren't supposed to be there, and that they could kill us," said Michael Herrera. In addition to threatening them, seizing their weapons, emptying their magazines, and scanning their IDs, the men also allegedly loaded huge weapon cases and other containers from modified Ford F-350 trucks onto a platform beneath the alien craft. Michael Herrera stated that troops were loading huge weapon cases on the UFO. When the last 2 trucks finished unloading and drove off, the lower part of the platform rose off the ground to about 10 feet, and the craft lowered to meet it, and it came together into one piece. On the corners of the craft, it had lights that were changing between blue, red, yellow, and green. It rose off the ground and a little past the trees, then shot off to our left towards the ocean at around 4,000. We can't believe this is fucking happening. From a dead stop, it didn't make any sound like a sonic boom. It didn't disturb the trees like rotor wash would. We could see coconuts on the trees and none of them were disturbed. Michael Herrera further stated that the 8 unidentified troops returned their empty weapons and led them back over the hill. Also, continuously, the soldiers were threatening them with how they could kill them. Once we got over the hill, they told us to get the away from here and don't look back. Michael Herrera said that the 6 Marines ran back to the aid drop site and were scolded by their gunnery sergeant for coming back too soon. He also said that the Marines didn't talk about the scary event. "I was feeling scared," the veteran said. "I was thinking, I could have been killed. How the hell am I going to explain this?" Back on the USS Denver, Herrera's unit underwent a debriefing led by a senior-ranking rear admiral whom he didn't recognize. While the presence of such a high-ranking officer seemed unusual, none of them dared to mention the strange encounter with the saucer and the unmarked troops. The debriefing focused on their mission's technical details and overall assessment, avoiding any sensitive or extraordinary occurrences they had experienced. A few days later, they were docked in Subic Bay, Philippines, Michael Herrera decided to unwind with his colleagues over drinks after their intense mission. However, upon returning to his quarters, he was disheartened to discover that his camera's card and battery were missing from his locked locker. To his dismay, he learned that the phones of 5 of his comrades were also mysteriously gone. It was a troubling and unnerving development, leaving them all wondering if they were being monitored or if someone was trying to suppress information. Michael Herrera signed a non-disclosure agreement (NDA). In early December 2009, Michael Herrera found himself back at Camp Hansen in Okinawa, Japan. He received an unexpected order to report to the office, where he encountered an Air Force lieutenant colonel who was fully dressed in uniform but peculiarly lacked a visible name tag. The encounter sparked a sense of unease within Herrera, wondering about the officer's identity and purpose, but he remained composed and professional during their meeting. He starts telling me, "You're not allowed to talk about what happened. Not to your chain of command, not even a general. You will go to prison or you will die." He told me to keep my mouth shut and slid a paper to me, which was an NDA. The only thing I can recall is that it said TSCI, Top Secret Sensitive Compartmented Information. And it had Indonesia on it, said Michael Herrera. Michael Herrera signed the non-disclosure agreement and was rudely told to get the F-wash out of there. I ran back to the barracks and haven't talked about it ever since. It's something I've kept secret for almost 14 years. But I've thought about it every single day. After completing 4 years of active duty, Herrera made the decision to leave the Navy in October 2011. Throughout his service, he had received several medals recognizing his contributions, including the National Defense Service, Global War on Terrorism Service, Humanitarian Service, Sea Service Deployment, and a Sharpshooter Rifle Badge. Following his time in the Navy, he ventured into the world of entrepreneurship, where he found success, amassing considerable wealth. Eventually, Herrera established a private security company known as Valkyrie Eye. Despite the intriguing and mysterious experiences during his time in the Navy, Herrera kept his experiences tightly guarded for years, concerned about the potential repercussions of sharing his story. However, with the introduction of new UFO whistleblower protections enacted in December, he felt a sense of relief and saw an opportunity to finally speak up about the extraordinary events he had witnessed. In 2017, Michael Herrera crossed paths with UFO activist Dr. Stephen Greer at a conference, which proved to be a pivotal moment for him. Through their interaction, Greer managed to convince Herrera of the importance of sharing his experiences as a UFO witness and whistleblower. Recognizing the significance of his account, Greer further facilitated connections between Herrera and congressional, as well as AARO, academic, aerospace, research, and observational staffers earlier this year. Herrera claimed 5 of his former comrades, who served alongside him in the military, are allegedly too frightened to step forward and share their stories. "This is asking too much of me, and it's not worth the risk. It's not worth my life or jeopardizing my family. I know we go way back, but this is asking too much. You need to get out of whatever you are in, and don't get me involved with this mess. My career isn't worth helping you. Don't ask me to do this set ever again." Michael Herrera received this text message from one of his fellow comrades. Leave us your thoughts in the comments section.